Hey guys. Okay, so I'm back again today to speak about the difference between love light and shadow love. So, shadow love is a love that comes from the ego and it's based in the preservation of self. Love light is the love that we know um, to be in the service of others and in the expansion of self. Now, we could just say love and shadow love, but I like to say love light because we have the shadow of love and the light of love, and it really distinguishes the both of them. And there is a huge difference. See, if we're operating from the first three chakras, then we are in lack, we are in fight and flight, we're in survival mode. And this often happens when we haven't done the deep inner work to create an alignment that is based in expansion and um, ascension, essentially. Because we can have an alignment that is actually based in our wounding, okay, in our trauma. We are going to feel like it is aligned with us. For example, if we say that um, I'm going to do something for someone else. I'm going to go to their house and do chores for them. Okay, this is real basic. Um, we can feel that that is through love that we're doing it. But if we aren't completely conscious about the reasons why we do something, it can be so that in the preservation of self, so that the other person loves us, so that the other person doesn't abandon us, so that we are accepted by the other person so that we feel deserving of love, for example. Now, this we are going to feel very aligned with what we're doing. Okay, if we haven't raised our consciousness to understand why we do certain things. And so it is an alignment, but it's an alignment out of contraction and out of wounding. And this is shadow love. This is when we're operating from the shadow. But if we, for example, want to help someone and we have risen up out of the first three chakras, we've come into the heart, we've come into the communication, we've come into the intuition, the connection to universe, God, however you want to say it, whatever is bigger than ourselves, it's all the same thing. Then we're going to be operating in love light, and everything that we do to help others will be in the service of others. It is purely to serve others. It is not going to make us feel more loved. It's not going to make us feel more accepted, more worthy. It's not going to make us feel like we are not going to be abandoned or rejected. It is purely because we feel um, expansive and so good within ourselves that we want to share that and serve others coming from that space. And that is love light or love simply. There is nothing in return. So shadow love is always going to be a transaction. We're transacting in what we offer others. And even if one thing is a physical act and the transaction back to that is an emotional something we're going to receive emotionally, it's still shadow love. But light love is when we give expecting nothing in return. We don't need anything in return. We will obviously get something in return because that's the way that it works. There's absolutely no resistance in light love. Whereas the resistance in shadow love, love light, sorry, the resistance in shadow love is if I don't do this for that person, if I don't do this, if I don't go out and be someone or do something for someone today, then I will be rejected or abandoned or whatever. That's the resistance. the resistance to being abandoned or rejected or not worthy, or whatever it is. So in love light, there is no resistance. It's purely in service to the others. It is not a transaction. It's a giving of the heart because we're operating from the heart. Whereas the first three chakras, there's always going to be a transaction. So I really just wanted to clarify that because it is the intention behind why we do things or say things to other people. Are we serving ourselves or are we serving others? Are we doing it for them because their happiness is important to us? Or are we doing it for us because our survival is important to us? And this is where suffering, one source of suffering can come from. Because the words and actions that we do when we come from shadow love are through attachment. Because we are attached to an outcome. We're attached to receiving something in return, or we're attached to what this person is going to give us in return. That's the attachment. But words and actions that are anchored in love and compassion, there is no attachment. There is only healing that can happen. So it's, for me, really quite, I mean, we have a lot of work to do to raise our consciousness so that shadow love doesn't even exist. And so, and we can call it something completely different. But in the polarity that we live today, and I don't believe this polarity will always be there, but it is there today, that we do have to actually distinguish between what is shadow love and what is love light. And it's really important to do because we can find ourselves go into a certain situation with someone and it is a transactional situation without even realizing it if we haven't applied our discernment. And we find ourselves all of a sudden in this transactional situation where this person is like waiting for something in return, and that's when you will feel the attachment there. It will feel contraction in the body instead of expansive. So I really encourage you to work on your discernment as to what words and actions in your life that you're doing for others and seeing it coming to you as well from others. What is shadow love and what is love light? I wish you a great next step in your evolution and we will speak soon.